Phantom Collector, also known as Mr. Haunts. Mo, a lot of people call me Mo. Mo Haunts. I'm from San Jose, California, in the Bay Area, once called the Valley of the Hearts of Light, now called Silicon Valley. I started collecting when I was 13. When I was 13, I collected for a long time, just starting out collecting through the money that I owned, from Christmas, birthday, Blockbuster. I would go there, I would get all the cheap stuff, Hollywood Video, anything that was used. I didn't care. I grew up on thrift stores. My mom, we weren't really super rich or anything, so I always gathered movies that I liked. It wasn't anything obscure. I had always been in the cinema, so I started collecting VHS when I was 13. I did eventually have a fallout once I was about 21. It wasn't that I didn't want to have my tapes anymore, but I ended up selling my tape and record collection to make rent. Things were going not so great in my life at the time. I had to do what I had to do, and I ended up selling almost pretty much majority of my stuff to record shops. I didn't get a whole lot, as much stuff as I'd like to get for it. Yeah, Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, mom and pop shops, anybody that sold stuff, I would do my best to buy stuff that I thought was cheap, because I knew DVDs were right there, right around the corner. So I started collecting VHS when I was 13, and it was because of my grandma. My grandma has a love for cinema that grew on me. I would go there. She lived with us, and then eventually, as I got older, she moved basically around the block from us in a trailer park. So being a single grandmother, not having a husband, she chose collecting VHS and continuing to love the cinema. I mean, at least every day she bought a tape, if not a couple times a week. By the time she ended her collection and kind of moved on from it, I think it was about 7,000 or 8,000 VHS. But I'd go over there from the time that I was about 13 till I think it was about 18 or so, and go watch tapes with her. She didn't get obscure tapes. I didn't buy obscure tapes. I didn't know about too much obscure stuff, but I did buy a lot of horror stuff because of my other grandma on my father's side. She didn't buy any of that stuff, but she liked to watch, whether it was black and white, King Kong, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, and then she'd like Friday the 13th when it would come on, TNT, everything you can think of that was on the TV for Halloween time. She loved to get spooked out, and that's what brought my love for horror VHS. I've always been in love with Halloween since I was a kid. That has been my life completely. The amount of VHS I have now, after I sold everything, about 2013 or so, I met a girl, an amazing woman. I realized a lot of shit that I felt was missing in my life, and it was a lot of not only collecting. I collect all kinds of stuff, toys, posters, vinyl, but tapes had always been something that just has been a huge piece missing from my heart, and I had to get back some of my collection. I had about 300 tapes when I sold it off, and I had to get it back. I did whatever I could to get it back. Unfortunately, don't tell my wife, but I probably have about roughly fucking 2,000, I'm guessing, roughly, VHS scattered around my dwelling where I live at the moment with my wife, my child, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my father-in-law. I have scattered around the house. Oops. Sorry, babe. Love you. Super difficult for me. So many. I really had to dig deep. And I'm just going off of my life from back when I was a kid till now, and I'm really fortunate actually enough to get everything that I wanted. Monster Squad. They're actually signed by two of the members, Rudy and Sean. I met them not too long ago. I went to Blockbuster, Hollywood, whatever. I bought this ridiculous amounts of time because at the time it was like 99 cents for like 5 days. I rented this so many times. It's absolutely ridiculous. So many times that my grandma actually ended up buying this for me. I kept it until the tape broke. And before I was valuing these VHS, I just kind of tossed it aside, just not really thinking about it, being a lot younger, and I had to get it back. I got it back, and I got it signed by Rudy and Sean. So stoked. Another one, Friday the 13th, final chapter, signed by Ted White, who played Jason, and Corey Feldman. I'm a huge Corey Feldman fan. I don't care what people say about him. He is fucking weird, but in the 80s and the 90s, me growing up, being the youngest of 4 boys, he was the fucking dude. So, still is. I like him. He's weird now, but I loved all his movies. I don't care. And then, lastly, the making of Thriller. Gainey, you fucking... I like what you said, of course. I was too young to see the premiere of this, but this replayed in the fall throughout my childhood. Well, I actually got this signed, if you can see it, by Rick Baker. I saw him at Monsterpalooza down in Southern California, walked right up to him, and I had this tape because I knew he was getting an award, and he signed it no problem. He's such a sweet, amazing person. My Grail tape was a tape that I used to have back when I was collecting, a tape that I got at Blockbuster a long time ago. It was seriously, I think it was $1. I'm not exactly sure, but I had to get it back. I've seen the Night of the Living Dead, George Romero remake. I do have that. Absolutely amazing. George is absolutely the best. He is gonna be a tattoo on me. He's the king. But I give it up to this remake. Hate me, I don't care. I had never seen the remake. I bought this because it was like 99 cents and I had it in my collection, and it was something really important. I had no idea at the time about the directors, about all that other blah blah blah, but this was awesome, and I knew that it was different than the original, but I was like, why is this kind of the same? I had to get this back, and I was so stoked. It's not a freaking expensive tape, it's not rare, whatever, it's not any of that, but I had to get this. And then I realized how much I liked Tom Savini, as much as people would say he's an asshole. I mean, so many people. I've had good encounters. There's a lot of other people that have good encounters. Sorry to everybody else. We've met him 3 or 4 times. He signed this tape. Regardless of whatever you think of it, he's a great fucking special effects artist. He's a fucking pioneer. He's up there with probably the great 5, the great 10 of special effects. Doubt him, whatever you want to do. This is it, dude. These are awesome to me. These are real good things. Good things, good things. I'm not into collecting super rare tapes. I'm not into spending a bunch of money, but all of these tapes I've got relatively cheap, either for 20 bucks or less. I think they've probably just gathered value. I was very lucky, and I'm not afraid to say some of them were eBay. Actually, some of them were from people that aren't on Instagram, or maybe they are, I don't know, and changed their name. But pieces, everybody seems to be into it. Great flick. Fucking love it. Got this for relatively cheap. Killer Clowns Media. Got this for definitely relatively freaking cheap. I think I paid 25 bucks, honestly, but I think it's grown in value because if you see in the light, it's got all 3 Chioda brothers signatures, as well as the composer. So that's really awesome. I met them at a convention. Super stoked on that. Definitely in there for rare tapes. And a lot of people love this movie. I fucking love this movie. I grew up on fucking punk and metal. Rocktober Blood. I got this movie a very good deal at the time. This seems to be a sought after movie. Fucking love this movie. So fucking good. Boom. As far as still need VHS on my want list, that's pretty high priority. For the past 2-3 years, I've been looking for House by the Cemetery, the best release slipcase in a really good condition. I love that movie. I love the cover. That's the reason why I want it in a good condition at a reasonable price. And it's been 3 years and I haven't found out a reasonable price, or somebody wants to give it up. One Dark Night, I really want to own that. And the Alien Factor slipcase. It's got a really fucking strange, amazing slipcase cover. I really want that. If you do have it, hit me up. Thanks. When I started collecting, I literally had no idea about other people liking VHS. I know a lot of people would probably say this, just like I think I've heard in the past. Nobody had any idea that people were into this stuff. And I think it was just our nature as people born from the 80s or even early 90s, grew up on these tape phenomenon at the time. We appreciated it. We appreciated it at the time. We appreciate it now. I like the tape community because once I got onto Instagram, and just like other people have said, I've followed kind of the hashtag of VHS, and I didn't even think it was gonna be a thing. I thought it was gonna be t-shirts and stickers or whatever. I started finding other people and I hashtagged the VHS Collector, and I started finding people and following them. Honestly, it was really fucking unbelievable. I had no idea that people were collecting some of the same stuff I was when it comes to movies. I collect, you know, some vinyl, toys, a lot of toys from my childhood. Just was really surprised, and everybody's been freaking great. I think I started trading with people in 2014, I think, maybe 15, and everybody was super a delight. I think my first trade was with Tapes from the Dark Side, just through Instagram, and I had no idea how it was gonna pan out, and it panned out great because I found a rare tape that he wanted, and I was not into the cult stuff. And maybe you would look at me and say, you're gonna trade this tape for a bunch of commons, but I was juiced, and the tape was that I found for relatively cheap, Neon Maniacs. Ooh. Nothing that is too crazy or rare or anything. At the time, in like 2013, 2014, when I was trying to get my collection back, I kind of stumbled on something which was pretty awesome, as a bunch of hipsters were collecting shit like tapes, records, clothes, especially in the West Coast. It just was a thing that was starting up. I found this. Yep. Class of Nukem High, and this was like, I think $1. Super juice on this. I love Trauma. I love this movie. I love Toxic Avenger. That was really fun. That was awesome. As far as my collection goes, being a man-child, I love everything. I love at least majority of everything. What I collect, I would say childhood cartoons, horror movies that I grew up on, and sometimes obscure stuff that I've never heard of that I want to see, and cheesy action flicks. I would say mostly horror, and definitely a lot of cartoons that are just from my childhood and hard to find. Just at the top of my head, my first Instagram trade, which I wasn't even know was gonna fall through, was from Matt. People that have been trading for a while know Matt, Tapes from the Dark Side, aka I won't say his name now, but he wanted a Neon Maniacs that I got for relatively cheap, and he had a shitload of commons, complete commons that I was after. I was totally willing to trade, and he was completely fair. No, he was great. He was generous. He gave me a box load of commons that I wanted, and it worked out well. Another great trade that I can think of is Freaking Green, Amanda, aka Amanda Green. Some people might know of New Batch. That's his sister. We did a great trade with, I believe, a bunch of Pee-wee tapes and like some other tapes. She wanted that Pee-wee set so bad, she gave me a great amount of tapes that I'm pretty sure are common for her neck of the woods, but aren't common at all in thrift stores of my neck of the woods. When they came in, I was absolutely juiced. One of them was freaking Dead Alive, and mind blown. I'd seen Dead Alive when I was like 16. It blew my mind. I was absolutely thrilled. Those are two definitely memorable trades that I made, I guess. TC 2000, it's Billy Blanks, Tybo. I don't know if I should say much more. And Edge of the Axe. I've never seen this, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. I'm stoked to finally watch it. I got it for a really good price, and I love slasher films. So, boom. This is not the original first tape that I bought, but this is one of the first tapes that I remember purchasing in my younger years, and it's Maximum Overdrive. I can watch this movie any time of the day, anytime at all. Something about Stephen King, High on Cocaine, first directing chair, this right here. I ended up seeking out this version because this is the version that I had before I sold it, and I got it back, and this is up there for first tapes I've ever bought. Thanks everybody.